welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty enthusiast and consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today, you guys know I love foundation, and when I saw Andrea Renee review the new ZARA foundation, I was like, oh, adding to cart, adding concealer to cart, adding all the things to cart, because that looks bomb. I have been wearing this foundation and this concealer for a good week or so now. I've been really late getting this up because, you know, Sephora and all of that. But I have a really good review and overview of these products for you, so I cannot wait to share all of that with you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it, and let's get right into this video. I purchased actually 2 foundation shades and 1 concealer shade because trying to find your shade on that ZARA website is ridiculous. It should not be that hard, okay? I don't know why they have made it so difficult, but for instance, if you're on your phone, I'm actually on my laptop now, you cannot see the shade numbers when you're scrolling through the different shades. I don't know why, you just can't. So what I ended up doing was adding the shades that I thought would work to cart to make sure I got the right shade. And when I say the right shade, like just making sure that the shade that I think will match actually is in cart. And then when you add it to cart, that's when you can see like the different shade numbers of the concealers and the foundations. I don't know why it is this difficult. It doesn't need to be this difficult, but that's where we're at. So the 2 shades that I picked up are going to be N933, which is actually the shade that I am wearing, and it works. Praise the Lord. And then I also picked up the shade W941. This is a deeper shade, so I will do swatches of both of those. And then for the concealer, I got the shade N933 as well. So let's talk about the packaging. It's really cute. So first of all, they made it to where the foundation and concealer are slanted, and then I don't know if you can see that, but ZARA is written in white right along here. Here's what the foundation looks like. I think it's cute, but it does stand up on its own, and it also has ZARA written very faintly right here. And then here is the outer packaging of the boxes as well. And they look the same for a foundation concealer. So the foundation is going to retail for $19.96, and the foundations come in a whopping 51 shades. Kudos to ZARA for that. And when you look at the shade range, it's actually a shade range, like, yes. So they say that this is their Limitless Soft Matte Foundation. It's a light foundation, it's long lasting and supple with a soft matte finish. Its formula lasts 12 hours and helps to control shine for a faultless look. And it is going to be adaptable to any skin tone and any undertone. The foundations do come in undertones of warm, cool, and neutral. And they do have like a find your tone tutorial or kind of breakdown. So, but it's not really going to, I didn't find it helpful. So it says, you know, they break up the foundations into light, light, medium, 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 deep, and deep. And then it says, you know, click on your undertone. So if you click on the different shades, like if I click on medium deep, then it'll show me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 shades in the medium deep category. And so from there, if you know your undertone, then you can narrow down what shade might work for you. But once again, I'm looking at it, I don't see any type of like numbering. So even if you click on it, it's really hard to tell which one will work for you. And then in terms of the pictures on the website, there are pictures of the foundations in the bottle, and then there's pictures of the foundations just like swatched out. I found that was more helpful than trying to look for a numbering. The glass is frosted, but I do feel like the color of the foundation is pretty on par with what it looks like on the skin. So good luck. But with the foundations being $19.90, I didn't feel too bad about purchasing 2. So I'll swatch the 2 shades that I have. So if you are around my shade, you can at least get an idea as to what might work for you. So here is shade N933, and I will say they also nailed these undertones as well. Like, this is a really nice neutral shade, not too cool, not too warm, doesn't look ashy or anything. And then this is W941, so you can definitely see how more warm it is. I did put this one on my complexion, not for this video, but in another just like when I was trying it out on my face. And it doesn't look orange, but it definitely looks too warm against my complexion. So depending on how much sun I get this summer, I might be able to mix in this deeper shade with the neutral shade. So I'm gonna try to still get some use out of it. But I put this foundation on my face. Oh, the only thing that I put underneath in terms of a primer, I used the Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. And then I did spray my brush with the Danessa Myricks Set It Forever Mist, because I find that this is a soft matte formula. I think soft matte is a really good way to explain the formulation of it. So when I have put this foundation on just by itself, with no type of like illuminating primer or like any type of like if I don't use a sponge or anything, I feel like it can go on a little more dry. I have pretty normal skin, so that's why I sprayed it with that mist to kind of give the foundation a little bit more fluidity. Now, as you have seen from the demonstration, your girl is full coverage as well. Did y'all see how like full coverage it was? But you can sheer it out. So if you continue to blend, you will see that it shears out. I don't know if you all can see it, but if I come in close, you can see my freckles ever so slightly behind the foundation. And of course, if you go in with less of the product, you won't get as much coverage. But she is a full coverage gal. I ain't mad at her for that as well. Okay. So I have used this with a sponge. It blends out beautifully with a sponge. And as a matter of fact, it might be my preferred method just because it does shear it out some, so it doesn't come off as full coverage. I tend to like more medium coverage foundation, so I think that's why I like the sponge better. And I also feel like you can press it into the skin more with a sponge. I feel like with a brush, yes, we get more coverage, but it does kind of sit on top of the skin and can lead to some issues that we'll discuss later on in the video. Okay, but taking this foundation in natural lighting, it looks beautiful. And it's soft matte, but we do see a little radiance. Nothing dewy, nothing crazy or scary, but it doesn't look flat and matte on the skin, which I do enjoy. And then I took her outside. She looked beautiful outside. And I really enjoyed the tone of this foundation. Like, I am here for this foundation and the tone of it. Taking it into flash photography, it looks beautiful. And I would say that I would feel comfortable wearing this foundation under flash photography if I wanted to wear it. This foundation, I really feel, does not look and perform like a $19 foundation. I was very much blown away. Like, I have been very impressed by this foundation, and I have been reaching for this foundation as my foundation of choice for the past week. Like, I really do love it. But stay tuned because we got some things to talk about. Now, getting into the concealer comes in a total of 36 shades. So once again, really giving us what we need in our complexion products. So it says that this is a creamy, dewy formula. Here we go. And it is going to easily blend into the skin. It's going to provide supple medium coverage with a luminous satin finish. And it's going to work very complementary with their foundation. So the bottle of the concealer is glass. It's not frosted like the foundation. And we have a nice standard doe foot applicator. I forgot to mention with the foundation, it does come with a pump. So I will do a quick swatch because I did get the same shade of the concealer as I did the foundation, not on purpose, but because I couldn't tell the difference initially. So here is the shade N933 of the concealer, and this is the shade N933 of the foundation. However, and by chance, I'm glad I got the same shade, because if you know your shade of the foundation, you can get the same shade of the concealer, and the concealer would just be slightly lighter than the foundation. So you can see the difference in tone here. So it's not going to be the most bright concealer, but it definitely is going to be a little lighter, and I've been enjoying it, and I am fine with the color. Like, I don't feel the need to add another brightening concealer on top for like my average looks. This is very creamy. It is very luminous, like the terms creamy and luminous are true. And I think this works really nicely under the eyes, especially if you have drier under eyes. I think it really does blend out very nicely. I blended it with a brush in this demonstration, but I have also blended it with a sponge. And I think I like it with a sponge better than the brush as well, just from using it multiple times. I do think that we get nice medium coverage, not as full coverage as the foundation like it does say, but I do think we get nice solid medium coverage. Did I take any pictures with this? I don't think I took any pictures with this. I'm so sorry. But this looks beautiful on the skin. Just take my word for it. It looks beautiful on the skin under any type of lighting, and also with flash and things like that. This looks stunning. Now I will say this, it does crease. This is not one of those concealers that you don't have to set. So I put this concealer on and then I did my eye makeup, and between the time that I finished my eye makeup and from the time I had put this concealer on, it had been a good hour, and I definitely saw creasing of the concealer. So what I would suggest is that if you have like normal combination oily skin, just go ahead and set this. If you have dry skin, you might not need to set it, but the formula is a little bit more emollient, so you might have to set it just a bit so that it doesn't crease. What I did today was I just used my eyeshadow to buff out the creasing of the concealer, and that was it. I didn't add any extra powder like right along here because I really like this luminosity that it has. It doesn't look like overly emollient or, you know, too dewy, but it also doesn't look flat and matte, and I do enjoy that. So I did not add powder right along here, but you know, when I put my eyeshadow on the lower lash line, it buffed out the creasing, and I think we're good to go. So let's come in close so I can show you what this is looking like. I've had the foundation and concealer on now for, I want to say a good 4 hours. Yeah, a good 4 hours. So looking at this face, y'all, I love this foundation and I love this concealer. Like I said, if I don't have to use a particular foundation for any particular video, I have been throwing on these two. I just think it looks so flawless on the skin. Soft matte is such a really good description of the foundation because it's not overly matte. It's not also like too dewy or too satin-like. It's really beautiful. But here is where I have an issue, because if you know me, maybe you felt this coming, okay? I can't figure out what it is. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the product. I don't know if it's the primer. Part of me feels like it might be the primer because I don't feel like I experienced this when I used Bobbi Brown's Vitamin Enriched Face Base the last time I wore it, but let me just come in and show you. So coming in close, like right here, do y'all see that? I feel like it's gathering and it looks like, almost looks like it's dirty. Like you can, I don't know if it's the texture of my upper lip, but you can also see it like right here too. It looks like cakey. That's what it is. It looks cakey. And I don't know, like I said, I want to say it might be the primer, but I don't know what it is. I also don't know if this foundation likes powder, and that might be the issue too, because today I did go in with the Say Loose powder. This is in the shade Translucent Medium because I felt like I needed, I felt like I wanted to just kind of set it just slightly. I went in with a fluffy brush. I took the My Kit Co brush in, this is the 0.8 brush, like lightly tapped my brush in the powder and then like tapped off the excess just to lightly set it. And I felt like at that point, I was like, oh, this foundation just doesn't look as good right along here and right along here. Everywhere else, this foundation looks stunning. Like, I love this foundation. So I'm gonna keep playing around with it to see like, what is it? Is it that it doesn't like powder? Is it the primer that I use? However, though, I didn't use the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer along my jawline. I didn't use it. I just put concealer there, and I have my regular skincare, and then I added the powder. So I am wondering if this foundation just does not like powder, or just on my skin in this area, because I do have some extra texture, like right here, maybe it just doesn't look the best. I don't know. If you all can figure it out for me, let me know, because I don't know. But like all along here, my forehead, even like over my texture right here, I don't think it looks too bad. I did notice it kind of clung to my texture like right here just a bit when I initially put it on, but then as it's been sitting on the skin, it doesn't look as, like I don't feel like it's clinging as much. And that's one of the things I love about this foundation, and I feel like the longer you wear it, the better it looks. Because I remember the first time I wore this, I saw that gathering issue like right along here, almost that cakey look, and I was like, oh man, because I love it. And then like 3 hours later, I looked at my face and I felt like it was kind of gone. And I've noticed that the more I wear this foundation, the foundation looks better the more you wear it. The concealer is like A+. I don't look at the concealer at any point in the day and go, ew. It looks beautiful. Looks lovely. Like, I don't have any issues with the concealer. I think the concealer is stunning. And I forgot to tell you, the concealer is $12.99. Forgot to tell you the price of that. I love the concealer, highly recommend the concealer. I haven't had any issues with it. The foundation is where I'm like, because I love it. I'm still gonna use her, but I need to figure out what it is and why it's not looking the best, like right along here, like why it gathers and looks cakey here. So I've got a lot of like hypotheses here that I haven't figured out, so sorry about that. But you know, being honest. So yeah, let's go on about the day. I'll come back in at least 8 hours later and we'll see what things are looking like. And of course, I will share with you my final thoughts and who I recommend these products to. So stay tuned. Okay guys, we are back. It is the end of the day. I have taken Carrie off. That's what I call my wig. And laid her to rest because it is the end of the day. So let's come in a little close and see what things are looking like. So I've had both of the foundation and the concealer on for about 10 hours. And I feel like right from like here on up, things are like splendid, amazing, fabulous. But from here down, okay. So remember I was telling you all earlier, I was concerned about how the foundation was sitting right here. And it's just breaking apart all along here. And I don't know what the difference is between this part of my face and this part of my face. But if I come in close, like right here, it's all broken up and it just looks, it does not look good right along here. And I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is. Now, if you look at the concealer, the concealer looks amazing. So I'm gonna look up, hopefully you can see what things are looking like. I think everything in terms of the under eye area looks really smooth. Doesn't look too crepey, and you can see that it has worn just slightly, but for the most part, the coverage is still there. There's no major settling in the fine lines that I have like right along here. And like I said, I would suggest initially setting it, but I think you just need a little bit of powder because the powder that I put under my eyes to smoke out the lower lash line was just really all I needed. I don't know. Here's the thing. After wearing this foundation for like a week and a half, I love it. Like, despite what this looks like, I love it. And every time I wear this foundation, it doesn't always look like this, but more times than not, it does. So here are a couple of hypotheses. Number one, I do think you need to go in with a sponge. I think the foundation needs to be pressed into the skin, and a sponge will really do that. Then I would say, in terms of skin type, this is a soft matte foundation. I really feel like this could work for people who have like slightly dry skin to normal combination and oily. If you have like excessively dry skin, I don't think you're gonna like this, just because I think it can kind of cling to texture on the face, which we did see a little earlier. And I feel like the breaking apart of the foundation around my mouth might have something to do with my skin and the texture that is there. I can't figure out why sometimes it works and why sometimes it doesn't. I will continue to pay attention, and I will let you all know in my April favorites, because despite this, it is going in my April favorites. I love this foundation. I keep using it because, like, from here to here, it's stunning. It is beautiful. And from a distance, it's like a Monet. From a distance, it's beautiful, but up close, it's not so good. I know I didn't like quote that directly from the movie, but what movie am I referring to? Anywho, but essentially, like, that's what it is. From a distance, it's like stunning. I love the shade match. I love everything about this foundation. Even the finish of it, I really enjoy. It's one of those soft mattes that's not overly matte, but it's not like so soft and dewy that, you know, it's like not matte at all. I think it's a really beautiful natural finish type of foundation. I would definitely say that it has about, I mean, from here up, we've got 12 hours worth of wear, even though I haven't had it on for 12 hours, but I can definitely like continue going about my evening if I needed to, in terms from here up. So, you know, from here down, I don't know, maybe I could doctor it up. I don't really know. And it's not that the foundation is not there. I mean, I've worn like a little bit off on my chin here. It's not that it's not there. It just does not look the best. Like, I don't know. I was gonna try to doctor it up on here, but I just don't know. Let me do this. So I'm gonna take my sponge, Danessa Myricks Forever Mist, and I'm just gonna like completely saturate the sponge in this mist. I love this mist, by the way. It's so great to use either on your brush or your sponge to just kind of, like I said, zhuzh up the foundation. So I'm gonna apply a little on top. Add just a smidge more of the foundation. So this is how much I have on here. And I don't know, I might jack it up, I may not, let's see. And I'm just adding it to the areas where I feel like the foundation doesn't look its best. And it does look better. I think it looks better, doesn't look cakey. I do like the way this looks, pressing it into the skin. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll keep you all updated in my April favorites. I'll let you know like what I figure out, because, you know, I am gonna pay more attention to this foundation and figure out what it is I've been doing that has made this work and then what has not made it work. So in terms of recommendations, I already told you the skin types that I think this foundation could work for. I definitely think if you have pores, you're gonna wanna conceal your pores first. That's why I applied my Tatcha primer along here. This is full coverage, but it's not like the most flawless finish to where if you normally use a primer to address certain skin issues, I would still suggest you use those. So I've gave you skin type. Shade range, I think the shade range is amazing. So if you can find your shade, meaning that if you can like kind of nail down what your shade might be, then I would say, you know, definitely check it out. And like Andrea Renee, it looked scrumptious on her skin. Scrumptious. And I know she has combination skin. So I know the issues that I'm having are not going to be indicative of issues that everyone might have. I don't know, maybe I need more hydration down here. Like I said, I will keep you guys updated. So I love it, and I love it a lot, which is why I want to make it work completely. Like I don't know what it is in here. It's beautiful. I just got to figure out what's up with the chin and what it needs so that it looks here like it looks here. Concealer, highly suggest the concealer. I would definitely recommend the concealer for drier skin types, normal skin types, and combination. For oilier skin types, I don't know, because if you look at my under eyes, I didn't set my under eyes. Like I said, I just put powder like right along here and down on my forehead. So I don't feel like my under eyes look so dewy and glossy that if you have oilier skin, you could not enjoy it. So I would say that this concealer really could work for everyone because it's not too emollient, definitely not greasy and oily or anything like that. It's luminous. And so if you don't mind a little luminosity in terms of just it being a little more bright, then I would say this really could potentially work for all skin types. I have had no issues with it, and the majority of the time that I do wear this concealer, I usually don't set it and I just use my eyeshadow to buff out the little bit of creasing that might occur, and then I'm fine. So I would most definitely suggest this concealer. $12.99. This is not a $12.99 concealer. This is most definitely a high-end concealer. This kind of reminds me of the Kosas Revealer Concealer, which I adore. This gives me similar vibes in terms of the luminosity and the brightening that it does have. I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below. I have not seen the footage, and you all always tend to give me good advice and suggestions, so leave it all down in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, definitely go ahead and consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.